What a rush. Hello, everybody. Bill Apter down here at Apter to the live Apter chat. Coming to you again from Apter's Alley. And what a night. What an incredible night of professional wrestling. And I'm not or if you just watched AEW. But it was an incredible night. I'm going to be honest with you. I watched mainly AEW. I watched some NXT, but truth be told, and I'm a truthful guy, as everybody knows. And when people ask me the question, of course, is wrestling fixed? I always start off this way. Plug in my book. I didn't know it was broken. You can still get the book. But anyway, yes, it's a shameless plug. But what an incredible good evening, everyone who's here. What an incredible night of professional wrestling. And I have to tell you that AEW tonight totally blew me away. Totally blew me away. It was pay-per-view quality tonight. It was over pay-per-view quality. It was really good. We're waiting for some more people to join us right here. I have my Apter Alley loved last week when we were here. By the way, tweet your friends and Facebook them and all that and tell them to come into Apter's Alley. You've got the link. But if you remember, this is the CBS cell phone amplifier that I bought. And a lot of you people got a big charge out of this last week. So I want to let you know I'm using it again. And does Road Trip on the Apter chat. And he'll be coming out with some really good ones soon. And we will be getting to your Hall of Fame predictions as well. Mac Davis, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you?
You are good. We're not hearing you well, though, again this week. Are you?
That's not a good thing.
What's that?
You can't hear me?
Well, we can, kind of, but not as well as we did last week. Let me try this CBS amplifier. Go ahead. Let's do some talking with me here.
All right.
Much better. And I know you can count to 10. I know that for sure. So let me make sure my volume is all the way up on here as well. And so we were IMing back and forth. And again, welcome to everybody down here at the Apter Chat. This is Mac Davis, who hosts the, I said it before, but I'll say it again, hosts the Road Trip segment. That and you got some new ones coming up pretty soon, don't you, Mac?
We got a few things coming up. We do. And I want to mention right off the bat before we forget, Bill, because I will, and I know it's going to be a fast-moving show tonight. The world wish best wishes for Outlaw Joel Deegan.
Yeah.
Of course, he had a stroke, and we wish him much better health soon. And understand he is expected to have a good recovery.
Well, that's great. Yeah, he did have a stroke, and we ran in honor of him. We ran the two-part interview that you did with him at his home earlier in June, if I remember correctly.
That's true, and to be honest with you, Bill, that interview is probably one of my favorites that I've done. It's a very long form type of interview, but there's so much history that he goes over in the old days of wrestling that I used to watch.
So predictions for the 2020 WWE Hall of Fame, who they think should be in there as well. But I also want to mention in a few minutes our good friend Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. will be here live on the Apter Chat phone to give his impression and thoughts about what went on tonight. So let me get the Apter clipboard here. And Mac, you and I were talking, and there's more people joining in. Welcome. You and I were talking at the beginning of the show. The opening match, I have to tell you, part of the tag team tournament, Private Party knocked out, because I saw moves in that match that I've never seen in tag team or single wrestling before.
They did it again this week.
Yeah.
Bill, they've done this since the very beginning. Their first match on every show has been just incredible.
No.
And it was a little sloppy in the very beginning. I noticed a couple of spots that were, close to being missed, but they still pulled through what I thought was probably one of the best matches of the night.
Oh yeah. Well, you see, I was watching it, and I know what you mean about a couple of sloppy spots, but it was so good that I couldn't even pay attention to that. And the other thing there, they didn't open up with the typical wrestling companies that even imitate WWE. They didn't open up with an interview. They went right to the action, which was so good.
Yeah, I loved the cold open intro. It was so different from anything else. And it told you right away that they were going to be just wall-to-wall action.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone and Excalibur.
Not that I remember. Maybe I wasn't paying that close of attention, but I didn't notice.
All right, so let's go over what we saw again. I have the Apter chat clip where I have to show you this. My family has always said, at the end of the shows, I always go, "I'll see you at the matches," and I point in every family picture. So my daughter many years ago made this. Can you see this? Made this fingerboard for me. Yeah. So I thought I'd show that to everyone. So that's my official. So of course the Lucha Brothers won that match, and now they go on to the next chapter of the tag team tournament. On NXT, Rhea Ripley beat Bianca Belair. But again, the atmosphere of AEW was so totally killer. I channel turned a few times, and I like the wrestling on NXT, but again, when you go back and you know what I mean? It's amazing.
I do.
All right, so their
entire show is that way, it seems like.
So now we had the next round of the tag team tournament, SCU, which was Kazarian and Scorpio Sky against the Dark Order, and during that match, Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle climbed up the steps to the suites, and they were eating. Jericho was displaying the belt, and they were eating popcorn and having drinks and making a lot of noise. They kind of distracted from the tag team match, but in the end, it was SCU winning that match, and I will tell you something. SCU is so over. I mean it in a good way.
Very much so. And Bill, one of the things that I wrote down during this is I agree with you that when Jericho came out, it did seem to take away from the match in the ring. The fans' attention got completely pulled away. But eventually did come back into the match, and the match was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was very good.
If I had to comment on anything, it would be the video package that they did for Dark Order. It didn't really do anything to tell me who Dark Order is. It was more of a highlight reel, and I'd rather have seen more about who is Dark Order. Yeah,
very true. Now, by the way, we're going to go into that. That's a thing that I talked to several weeks ago with Cody about. Is a lot of people still don't know, who. Every week they're going to become more familiar with identifying everybody. We're gonna.
Can I bring up one more thing, Bill?
Go ahead.
One thing that I did notice in this match is that the referee was being very lenient. I think you have to be careful to make sure they adhere by the rules.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. So we do have a lot of people on the live chat, and we're going to go on talking about the matches. But I just Joker Jack, who's here like every week, it's a great comment. I love Jericho, but he don't need popcorn. He needs a salad. And Suleiman Sultan says, and a little bit of the bubbly. Okay, and again, we're going to talk about your Hall of Fame go over the shows here.
I got to say something when they were talking about Chris Jericho. This is something I've been meaning to ask you. I don't know if you've noticed or if anyone else has noticed, but the latest look by Chris Jericho with the black leather jacket, the paint on his face and everything, he looks like Corey Feldman when he was trying to do rock and roll. And it looks like he ripped him off of that same look. And I'd love to know if that's where the inspiration came from.
Maybe. So next time I talk to him, I will ask him that. And I'll bet you right, because everybody bases. Let's move on here. We then had Matt Riddle on NXT beating Cameron Grimes. Matt Riddle reminds me of that young Kevin Von Erich. Maybe it's because of the bare feet and the muscular legs, but he definitely reminds me of that. Anybody else feel the same way? Let me know. And I know, Mac, that you did not watch NXT, so I'm not going to hit you up on that. Kenny Omega had an incredible match against Bad Boy Joey Janela. At first, I thought it was going to be a semi-squash, but man, that turned into an incredible match. Now, a lot of people and gone to WWE. Do you think he would have, after the first few weeks, have gotten this same reaction? What do you think they would have done with him?
I don't think he would have gotten that reaction whatsoever. And I think he would have been left somewhere in the mid card, probably, of WWE, maybe even on NXT. I don't think we would have seen the true Kenny Omega. This match tonight with Joey Janela was a rematch from a AEW Dark episode, which that match was incredible.
Yes, it was.
So these guys really have a great chemistry with each other. I'd love to see them wrestle again down the line.
One of the things that they did that really impressed me, and thank you, AEW, for doing this, is that they showed clips of the match where Omega won the AAA championship from Phoenix. That was incredible that they did that.
I also like the fact that they allowed Joey Janela, in an interview I did with him just a couple of months ago,
I remember.
I had mentioned that he is known for more than just hardcore wrestling. And he got a chance tonight to show.
It was a wrestling match. It was a wrestling match. It was an old school wrestling match. There were arm locks and arm drags and leg locks, and it was a good.
I hope it shut up a lot of his haters out there, because Joey Janela and Marco Stunt have taken a beating over the last week or so, and unfairly so, I believe.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. They're getting beaten up by the fans, but it's going to be a situation where the fans are going to. The haters on the internet are always going to be there. And sometimes they drown out the positive ones on the internet. So they're always going to be there, but they gotta ignore them and think of the big picture. All right, now we get to a segment. That was unfrickin' believable. You and I talked about this while we were watching this on Facebook IM. Tony Schiavone comes in. Yeah, Tony Schiavone comes into the ring to interview Cody, who has a very important announcement. And Chris Jericho in the inner circle, minus Jake Hager, making tons of noise with noise. Jericho, did he call Brandy a bitch at that point? Is that what he used the word bitch?
I didn't notice if he was calling Brandy one. I didn't really hear that.
I didn't either, but I'm not sure who he called a bitch. But Cody said he was going to come up there, and it would have been Cody against the up in the suite. It would have been Cody against the entire inner circle. So all of a sudden, who comes out? Dustin, his brother, gets a great pop. Then Dustin points to the tunnel, and who comes out to the most incredible pop I've heard in ages? DDP. and he looked great. He looked like he can still do it. He looked incredible. And then to equalize things, wait a minute. Just want to check my notes. Oh yeah, MJF came out as well, and they went upstairs, and Jericho and his guys locked themselves behind the glass door of the suite. Cody takes the scarf around his fist and punches the glass and gets in there, and the whole thing goes crazy out in the concession area in the arena there. And one of them, I think it was Jericho, grabbed the crutch from a fan there and is trying to use this, and he's holding it up. I got a ticket. But it was wild. It was absolutely crazy. It reminded me back of the prime days in WCW. And again, fans, we're going to get to your questions, so don't go away. We're just going over the show here.
I just absolutely loved when they went through the back and Jericho grabbed the guy's crutch.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. But what
the small things like that Jericho does that these younger guys can learn from, because the small little details sometimes are the biggest.
Yes. Yeah. But that was incredible, Mac. That was just an incredible moment. Let's go to when DDP. Again, the guy looks like you still got it. You still got it. Again, we're going to get to your questions here. Orange Cassidy came out around the ring when Best Friends and the Young Bucks were wrestling each other, and he got in the ring and he started making fun of the Young Bucks, and they super kicked him, and that was it. But Young Bucks back on top again, beating Best Friends. So these were two teams that were not doing too well. So the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks now have said that at Santana Ortiz full year challenge. So I think that's going to be incredibly good.
I did make a note on this match, and I like the match, but I made a note, and it's something I've asked myself a few times, and it's not just AEW, but is there such a thing anymore as a finisher? Because I see so many finishers now used in a match that I'm not sure what actually is considered a finisher.
Yeah, a finisher used to be something like a figure four leg lock, a pile driver. So no, anything can be a finisher these days. Anything, except, and I don't know if I have it here. Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me just get it here. Except if I'm defending the four as my finisher. I still use it on everyone, but sometimes I'm unpredictable and I will finish the match any way Wonderful Willie wants to do that. Sorry, that's my alter ego, Mac. I had to throw this.
Well, I'll be in New York soon. You better hide that belt.
I'm not going to hide it. If we can find an office and you'd like a title match, we will do it. By the way, welcome from Baltimore. Welcome from Australia. Boy, you're up late in Australia. So thank you everybody who's in the room now. We're almost at full capacity. This is great. Thank you all for coming in. And again, Nick Houseman will be here in 10 minutes. So on NXT, we had Isaiah Scott and Breeze Dango. I love Breeze Dango's entrance, beating the Forgotten Pittsburgh debut, her home debut, against a real tough lady from Stardom, Jamie Hayter, Hayter. And Hayter got the best of her for a long period of time there. And then there was a commercial spot that made her match go into the box. And I was like, we want to see this. It's her hometown. She's got to be seen. But anyway, after a tough match, Dr. Britt Baker did win that match. Now, Hayter was backstage and she was being interviewed and out and attacked her.
I did. That confused me because she came out of nowhere and they didn't really put the camera right in her face, so you couldn't tell right away who it was. So it was kind of a surprise. Came out of nowhere. I thought the match with the ladies again tonight, and I don't mean to beat this up on the ladies, but in AEW, that's probably where they need the most work. They need a stronger women's division than what they're showing to us right now.
Well, again, it's only a few weeks old, so I think that's going to happen. Amy, we do know you're from North Carolina and South Carolina. I'm glad you're here. And again, we're going to get to your questions. And don't forget to add in who you think, and I'm going to ask Mac before we sign off with him in 9 minutes. On NXT, Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai defeated Jocelyn Duke and Marina Shafir. I want to go to the last match of NXT where Roderick Strong pinned Keith Lee in a triple threat match with Dominic Dijakovic. And the entire Undefeated Era came in and did an attack afterwards. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Ciampa came out. And then Johnny Gargano, they used to be enemies, he came out to equalize it. And then out of nowhere, Finn Balor came out. And it looked like it was going to be 3-on-4 with an attack. Finn attacked. He might become part of the Undisputed Era. So a big swerve on NXT. Let's get to the main event right now on AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And thank you, fans, by the way, for thousands of you for looking on OneWrestlingVideo.com at the exclusive interview I did with Cody as a scouting report of what I came up and Mac Davis came up with. The top 10, and a lot of you moaned about my microphone. I'm getting a new mic. Somebody today said it sounded like I was in a tunnel, so the mic will be replaced. It was a technical problem, and I didn't interrupt Cody while he was eating. His lunch came. I said, we can wait until after your lunch, because a lot of people were saying, come on, Bill, really? And he said, no, let's do it. He wanted to do it.
That's because he's so comfortable with you that's okay. And how close you two are. So
no, they didn't. That's because of the relation to AEW, which was a brawl, was John Mox against the former Neville. Hold on a minute. Allergy time again here. Against the former Neville Pack. I got to tell you something, by the way. Since I first saw him at NXT in person and in the Indies before that, I've always been a big supporter of his. I think he's an incredible wrestler and performer. But he really is. But that thing, it ended in an old school manner because there was a TV time limit, and it ended on the TV time limit. Yeah, so I haven't seen that in a long time. And Moxley,
did the fans leave happy with that decision?
Well, it's probably something happened.
What they did to save themselves, though, was going just a step further, and it seemed like that extra step made all the difference at the end.
Oh, having Moxley beat up the referee, of course, but probably after it went off the air, I will bet you we will find out after our show when my correspondents call me. All right, so Mac, before we've got 5 minutes, so I want to talk to you at this point. And again, Mac is my co-host every week here and does the great road trip stuff for our show. And one of these weeks soon on YouTube, we'll be bringing that show back again with classic interviews and Mac's segment, etc. So thanks for following us. Okay, so do you have a list of, let's say, about 5 guys who you think, I'm not going to give mine away yet, I've got them here, who you think should be inducted into the 2020, wow, thank you all for your birthday wishes, by the way, really appreciate that, in the 2020 WWE Hall of Fame. Who have you got?
All right, my first one, I mentioned this last week, and I will say it again, it's the birthday boy himself, Bill Apter.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying that because it's your show, we're trying to push your name by any means. I'm saying that for a fact. this is one thing that you and Gordon Soley have every right to be sitting in the Hall of Fame. But I can't believe it'd be a Hall of Fame without either one of those two names in there.
I appreciate that. Do you mind if let me give you my Gordon Soley? Well, indeed, Mac Davis, it would be very appreciated for Mr. Apter and I to be inducted, and we'll be right back. Not bad?
Not bad.
Okay.
And see, growing up in the South, that's a name and a sound, a voice. As you know, even with AEW, we fell in love with that show almost immediately because we heard two familiar voices that stood out in our earlier days of wrestling, and they're making us feel welcome again today.
Yeah, it's that welcome mat. Shivani and Jim Ross. Okay, go ahead.
The Hall of Fame, the Midnight Express.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which version?
Wow. Don't ask me that.
Okay. I did.
The one with Bobby Eaton.
Okay. The one with Bobby Eaton. Good. All right.
My other one would be Jushin Thunder Liger.
Oh, yeah.
He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's retired or is retiring this year.
That's true.
And this would be a perfect time to put him into the Hall of Fame. Steiner Brothers.
Yes, Rick and Scott Steiner. Absolutely. And Jimmy Valiant, he's the first time I knew he was wrestling in Texas early in the 70s because I had gotten the programs sent to me all the time from there. When he came to New York, though, as handsome Jimmy Valiant, he was incredible. And he and Johnny Valiant, and then Gentleman Jerry, they were an incredible team. But no, the Boogie Woogie Man, even before he was Boogie Woogie, when he was handsome Jimmy, definitely deserves to be in there. And he was managed, of course, by the incredible Grand Wizard of Wrestling.
I think, too, the Midnight Express, when I mention them, I do not want to leave out Jim Cornette. He is a part of that entire group to me. So without Jim Cornette a part of that induction, they can't put him in there because that comes as a package to me.
Yeah. All right. Who's your next one?
Let's see. I get another one. Good. Magnum TA.
Oh, yeah. How could you not? People are going to – he's one of the few guys who never did anything for the WWE. And it amazed me.
Correct.
It absolutely amazed me that even when he was well, that there wasn't a play to get him at all. He was absolutely fantastic. And he should have been, unfortunately, because of what happened with him with the accident, he should have been the National Wrestling Alliance champion. That Best of 7 series he did with Nikita Koloff, there was nothing better. That was fabulous.
On my list, too.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Max, thank you so very much.
You bet.
I promised Nick that I'd call him. He's waiting up. I promised him that I'd give him a call around 11 o'clock. So we will talk to you next Wednesday. There's only one Wednesday I'm going to miss watching both shows. I'm going to be at So Says Chernoff's live show, taped at Montgomery County Community College, middle date of November. I can't remember it, but it's on a Wednesday night, but I'll be home in time to do this. So you'll have to be my eyes and ears of AEW that night.
Absolutely. Or anything else that you and I may have done, they can join us right here on OneWrestlingVideo.com, or you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Mad Mac Davis. And love to have you there.
And you've got a T-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees now, don't you?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, it's really a great seller right now. It's a Wrestling at the Omni shirt, which says, "I tried saving Dusty."
Yes. You know what? You got to send me one of those so I can wear it on the After Chat here.
I'll bring it to you in New York.
This sounds great. Mac Davis, thank you so very much. And we will talk with you again next week.
Sounds good.
All right.
Have a great night, Bill.
All right, you too. And thank you. And again, we're going to get to all your questions phone here. And I don't know if you know this. Well, hold on. Hang on. Let me get his number here. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. All right, here we go. We'll get him on the speakerphone here. And let's put this in the old speakerphone, CBS speakerphone holder. And he should be picking up. We're 2 minutes late. Where is he? Where are you?
Hello?
You're 2 minutes late. I'm 2 minutes late. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was actually starting to watch the AEW Dynamite replay.
You were watching the replay? Did you not watch the live show?
Well, I did, and then I watched, I buzzed through NXT, and then I was waiting for you to call, and it showed back up. It was back on TNT.
Well, here we are. You're coming across a little on the low side here. Is there any way you can turn your volume up here?
Is this better when I do this?
I don't know. You have to keep talking.
1, 2, 3.
Everybody counts when you. It's great. You sound great. But Mac Davis, when I said, "Would you give me a little volume?" and 1, 2, everybody counts. So Mac and I went over the AWE, not the AWA, the AWE and NXT shows. So there's a couple of different things I want to do with you. First thing is I want to thank you for being the first person to get me on the pod waves. You brought me into the world of podcasting.
Oh, well, you brought so many people into the world of like pro wrestling journalism.
Oh wait, Nick, you sound like you're in an echo chamber again now.
Here.
That's better.
Is this better?
Much better.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Much better?
Yes.
Okay. Better?
Go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just thinking, Bill, you brought so many people.
Oh, you're gone. You're gone. For some reason, your volume keeps going down, and I don't know why. Huh.
I have no idea.
All right, going to hold you up close. Going to hold you up closer to the camera. All right.
Am I doing like the Michael Myers, let's break it in 3 other words type of impression right
You
now?
are, but you're good now. You're fine now.
Oh, I sound good?
It's all good. Go ahead.
All right. Well, this is going very well, Bill. This is great. You have inspired so many people to get into pro wrestling journalism, through the work you did with the magazine. And, more and more, you've talked to me about this. I find like clips of you on YouTube that are like a preview for WrestleMania 3 or something else, like completely random. And I'm like, wow, Bill has done it all, and
well, thank you.
So anyway, even before I did another medium,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
absolutely.
you. And again, fans, we will get to your questions shortly. So we were IMing during the show. I was doing that with Mac Davis and about 20 other people. And you said to me that you have an idea. We believe that NXT again is going to come in secondary to AEW again this week. And you said, you know what? I've got an idea I'm going to bring up on the Apter chat, what NXT can do. So.
Okay, so it's really pretty simple, and I think it's maybe staring us all right in the face at the moment. There's like so much buzz around what is CM Punk going to do, right? And it doesn't sound like he's going to go to AEW. It doesn't sound like it worked out there. He's pretty open about those negotiations. But he's confirmed that he did do this WWE backstage tryout.
The audition, yeah.
Right. So he's obviously not against doing business in some form with WWE. And Triple H has the possibility of CM Punk coming back.
Yeah, and what happened in the past happened in the past. Even Vince believes this at this point.
Right, exactly. And I think it was today Punk said something to some interview. I apologize, I can't remember the source. but he said how he doesn't think that the WWE backstage audition worked out, right?
Okay.
So I wonder, Bill, like with all the hype that CM Punk could be this big counterculture hero and join AEW, how crazy would it be if he were to succeed this?
I love that. I think that's he becomes the piece of the war that NXT needs to get that ratings, to get those ratings. I think, Nick, that's a great idea.
Yeah, if he is willing to play ball, if they're willing to play ball, let's think about all the dream matches you have for CM Punk in NXT. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream.
But wait a minute, he doesn't even have to wrestle. Put him at the broadcasting desk.
Well, but I think that would be cheaping it. If this guy wants to wrestle and he can do 3 years, 4 years before he wants to transition into something else, 5 years, I think that's not unattainable for him. A lot of guys say 50 is the magic number. That's the number a lot of guys say they'd like to wrestle till. I think it was Loki was the guy I talked to most recently, who brought that up. So, you never know. But I think that if they were to turn, the one way I think they could really load not a bullet, a bazooka, and really fire a shot if it's in NXT to show up at the next big pay-per-view ever, that sends a real big signal and could make things.
Oh, Nick, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay,
man,
go
I'm
ahead.
still talking.
You dropped out for a sec.
No, it's fine. I apologize. For my signal, I guess.
That's okay. But I want to tell you something. That is something that you and I didn't think of that. I think that's total genius on your part.
Thank you. Because and also we're talking about getting them out of wholesale into arenas. How are you going to sell all these tickets for all these arena shows? I think that if you know that you're going to be getting the first CM Punk matches back in WWE, these shows all of a sudden, I think you can fill some pennies up again because of all the talent that he has to work with in NXT right now that I think he'd be very excited by.
Some of the fans are chiming in here. A guy, Joker Jack, says, "How about Punk? How about Punk comes in and challenges Regal for the GM spot?"
Okay. Again, I think in my personal opinion, it sounds like he could go because he's been doing MMA fights, legitimate fights. He's trained to do that right now. I would rather see him wrestle. I think there's
well, that's what he's saying. That's it,
right?
Yeah. And now it's Joker Jack also said Punk and Mauro Ranallo. That would be pretty good. We're sitting here with CM Punk.
Mauro.
Yes. All right. So again, we discussed. Mac and I discussed AEW and NXT. So I mentioned to you to please come with who do you think should be inducted this year, 2020, coming up 2020, in the WWE Hall of Fame. And after Nick does this, I'm going to go and answer all your questions. Are you ready, Nick?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Go for it.
All right. So, of course, the token answer, of course, I have to give is Owen Hart, but that's not in our control, right?
Okay.
So, I have to say that I would love to see Owen in the Hall of Fame, but we've all had that discussion at death. Okay. So, with that said, I'll lead with an unconventional pick, which I think would delight the both of us, and maybe help bring some luster back to that celebrity wing. I would still like to see a posthumous Andy Kaufman induction.
Yeah, Kaufman, please, Kaufman. I'm a New Yorker. Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. All right.
I agree. Totally agree that he should be in there, even though that had nothing to do with WWE. Not that some of it doesn't in the Hall of Fame, but just that actually became the first real shot of sports entertainment, and they're an entertainment company, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Andy Kaufman, absolutely. Right. I think if you're going to do Tampa, I would like to see the Nasty Boys go in. Brian Knox has been really cool to me. because of that, I've gone back and watched more Nasty Boy stuff. And, they were very popular at a time when wrestling was very hot across like two generations, honestly. So I wouldn't mind Nasty Boys getting the nod.
Okay, I'd be good with that too. Who else you got?
Right. So it was interesting because as soon as you asked me this, the first name that popped into my head was somebody I talked to recently that caught me off guard with how much I enjoyed talking with them and really showed me how great they were, and that was Barry Horowitz. And Barry, obviously, like everybody knows Barry Horowitz, and is such a good consummate professional. I think Barry Horowitz should get the nod.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Right? I mean, because there's obvious picks. Like, you can put Dave Bautista in. He'd be really cool, right?
Yeah. But he's not Barry Horowitz.
No, Barry Horowitz, and that's the thing is, I think Barry Horowitz, I'd be nostalgic and excited for that. And I think Barry can still go. I think he's still, training and wrestling right now.
Yeah.
I think he got to do one more match.
Yeah.
Put somebody over if they've got enough to beat him.
I like the sound of it. You got two more?
Two more. Let me think.
Or even one more. And then I'm going to get to the fan questions here.
Okay. I mean, I wonder if it's, every year I wonder if it's time for The Undertaker to go in. I just wonder who is the big name, right?
I got the big name on my list, and I haven't given my list yet. Should I give the number one guy on my list that should be the big name? You want to hear it?
I'm all ears.
You're fired. It's time. It's time. Vince didn't want to be in it. It's time to say it's time and bring Vince McMahon into the WWE Hall of Fame as the headline attraction, because without him, none of what you see as WWE, and a lot of you going, oh, get rid of, none of this would have happened. Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, he changed the business, and when people say, well, he did this, he did that, he changed it in a positive way where people are wrestlers, sports entertainers, they're making a living doing what they want to do because of him, and because of him there's competition. And I think a lot of things, at the beginning it was very rocky, but he belongs as the headline attraction this year, in my opinion.
I think I hear that, Bill. I wonder, because they are in competition, and because he is still the chairman of the board, and the perception is still there that he is helping the company, even if by name or whatever. They don't really know what the secret sauce is behind the scenes, but they know that he's attached and active with the company. If he were to go in the Hall of Fame, I wonder if he wonders if that would affect the perception, because he's a master.
No, I don't think so. I just think the fans look at him as Mr. McMahon, and it's time for him to go in. That's how I feel.
I kind of like that he's kept himself out of it. I don't know. I think there's a certain mystique to that.
Okay. Well, we don't have to agree.
Sure.
All right.
Tampa, Hogan's already gone in. I mean, when you think of Tampa, who do you think of? I mean, Nasty Boys. I think the Nasty Boys.
Well, sure, but I think of way back, with Eddie Graham, and I don't know if Eddie Graham is in there in the WWE Hall. Yeah, if you really think about it, he should be in there. You talk about Tampa.
I like that the city is the backdrop to the inductees. I think it's a certain nice way of doing the induction. Like, if you were going to do Vince, I would think you'd want to do it in New York.
Yeah,
right?
well, I guess, but I'm not talking about where it's going to be. I'm talking about who belongs in it, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
All right?
I got you. Yeah.
So, Nick, where can people find you? I'm going to get to the fan questions in a moment. But I want to make sure that you tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Sure, of course. Well, first, visit WrestlingGeekInc.com. That's the site that I'm the managing editor for. And follow me on Twitter at Wink, WINC Rebel. And, I am, of course, Wrestling Inc. Audio.
And thank you for having me on that show periodically too. I love doing that.
Yeah, of course, Bill. You are so awesome, Bill, because I talk to you, and we're like always in the moment. We're both always forward thinking, but then occasionally you say things, and I'm like, wow, Bill has done so much awesome stuff, and I'm so fortunate to be able to talk pro wrestling with you. You're awesome, Bill.
Thank you, and so are you. Thank you, Nick. And we visit him on at Wrestling Inc. All right. So let me get to your questions, fans. There's a lot of people in the Apter chat room here. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the evening, and my list of who I believe should go in the D20. Let me scroll up so I can go back to all the people who have been, who is IMing me on Facebook at this. Oh, Nick Hausman saying thank you. So, and sorry for the connection. No, your connection was fine. I'll use my other speaker next week. Okay, so here's my list. And then I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the evening and answer your questions. My list. Not in the WWE, who I believe should be in 2020. And again, it doesn't matter to me if it's in Tampa, if it's in New York, no matter where it is. Pittsburgh, PA, Atlanta, GA, if you will. So here's my picks for this year. Vince McMahon, as I mentioned. Ivan Koloff, the man who became for ending the first reign of the unbeatable living legend Bruno Sammartino for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. He didn't hold it long. Pedro Morales came along a few weeks later and defeated him. But even though it's in the record books, Ivan Koloff should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Owen Hart. A lot of people have mentioned him on the Apter chat board here as well. He needs to be brought in. Again, inside issues. British Bulldogs. Yeah, nobody's mentioned them. Davey Boy Smith, British Bulldog, Dynamite Kid. What a team. And finally, my number five. And a lot of you are going to stand up and go, my number five, John Cena. Maybe John Cena should be the headliner this year for the WWE. Would be a great choice. I have another idea. And this is not about the Hall of Fame. It's not about my book. The NWA Power Show is getting incredible reviews. It's a throwback to the days of Georgia Championship Wrestling. It's a great show. Billy Corgan and Dave Lagana have done such a fabulous job with this thing. And they're not looking for a TV deal, from what I understand. They're getting enormous numbers on YouTube. And we are too tonight. Thank you for we're getting a lot of fans down here. What if NWA Power was put on the WWE network? Would you like to see that? I would. I really would. That would up their presence on there, and it wouldn't be a war situation with them going to war with WWE or NXT, but it would be great on the WWE network. Okay, so let me go down and answer your questions, and please be patient. I will get to everyone. Everyone's Raziel Ramos says, "Sup? What's up with you, man?" David Earhart, good evening. Did not a bit earlier with Mac Davis, so please watch the replay on here. My Hall of Fame predictions, I gave them already. Happy belated birthday from SportsFan316. Thank you. 21 again. I'm not going to lie. 24. Amy, hi, Amy. Super Skooky 13, good day from Australia, Bill. Thank you for staying up so late or thank you for being here tomorrow. Suleiman Sultan, will Owen Hart be in the WWE Hall of Fame? I hope so. Joker Jack, I think we already know that Undertaker and Rock are going in. I don't know that. Whether this year or not is a different story. Eventually they will. If Martha Hart ever lets WWE induct him, they can induct whoever they want. Person doesn't have to be there. All those years that Bruno Sammartino refused induction, I always wondered, why didn't they induct him anyway? He doesn't have to be there. Get somebody who wrestled against him. Sultan says Chris Jericho, a.k.a. The GOAT. Joker Jacks, I love Jericho, but he doesn't need popcorn and he needs a salad and a little bubbly. I love that. I wonder when Jack Hager is going to debut in AEW. I don't know the answer to that yet. Joker Jack, Corey and the Lost Boys. Terry Belcher, 4K Ultra Wide, 219. Power Hour is the best free YouTube live. Thanks, NWA. I thought I was, but no, I agree. Stephen Taylor. Hey, Steve. I don't know if that's the Stephen Taylor who's the photographer, Stephen Taylor from New Jersey, who I've known for my whole life practically. He says Paul Heyman should go in there. I agree. You don't have to be retired or dead. Bill, are you going to the Squared Circle Expo in Indiana next year? I haven't been booked. Find them and tell them they should book me there. Stephen Taylor chimes in Ivan Koloff, and he was on my list, and Big Van Vader. Yeah, it should be Vader time. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, Sultan is saying DDP, the People's Champion, is back, and it's so good to see. He got such a pop tonight. I'm going down to people who have not gotten their question answered here. D-Bag 0584, Bill Apter is a legend of the business. Thank you. As Captain Lou Albano would have said, I'm a legend in my own mind, brother. But thank you. I really appreciate that. They're Mick and Jen. Hello, fellow wrestling fans. Try to do that. Let's try and do that a little better. Hello, fellow wrestling fans. Have you ever interviewed or spoke to Rick Nelson, not the old singer from Ozzie and Harriet? He's a neighbor friend of mine. I have not. And I followed his career. I lost touch with him ages ago. If you can ask him to email me at bapter@onewrestling, I would love to get him on the show one night. Thank you, Amy, for the birthday wishes. It was October 22nd. I appreciate that. Joker Jack says Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express, which Mac Davis expressed. Rick Martel, good choice. Andy Kaufman, yes, he's got to go in there. Dirty Dick Murdoch, wow, interesting. And Lord Littlebrook, interesting choices. Amy, I think you should be in the Hall of Fame, Bill. I actually am, see this ladder here? That's my ladder of success. I'm in 16 different Hall of Fames. And I'm totally flattered, but everyone wants me in the WWE Hall of Fame, and I would love to be part of that. That would be a crowning glory to the top of the ladder there, where Andre the Giant and Bruno Sammartino are still facing off against each other on the QPW Qatar Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame plaque. Thank you, Ali, for giving me that. Jimmy Valiant is in with Johnny Valiant as a tag team, right? But I think he was just talking about handsome Jimmy Valiant alone. Joker Jack, I had Magnum on my list. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him in there. Ronnie Garvin. Interesting. Ronnie Garvin did some great work in Georgia and the NWA. I think on that one. Any thoughts on Billy Corgan, Bill? That's from Jack Davini, yeah, I think what he and Dave Lagana are doing with NWA Power is magnificent. And as I mentioned before, I'd love to see them on the WWE network. Okay, I'm looking again for names of people I haven't answered. Bill from Randall Davis, thanks for bringing back the NWA ratings. Where? The NWA ratings. If you're discussing in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, I haven't worked for them in 21 years, so I will pass that on to Stu Sachs. I still love the magazine. I'm still friends with Stu Sachs, who's the publisher. So yeah, okay, Fabe. Hey, okay, Fabe. Would love to have you on one night as well. Here, PV2 King. Hello, hello, hello. Mike Perry. Hello. Do you still have your turkey racing equipment for sale? The saddle and your lucky crash helmet? What are you talking about, Mike Perry? Are you on the right show? Your turkey racing equipment for sale, the saddle and your lucky crash helmet. Okay, well, maybe you can clarify who you're talking to, or am I missing something? Okay, Fabe, I'm certainly attesting to thanking Bill for inspiring me to be a better wrestling journalist. Thank you, and you are a hell of a great one. And OK Fabe has got a great show on the Fight Network. Check it out. Raziel Ramos, hello, my friend. Have you ever been a booker? No, not even a Booker T. But no, never been a booker and never aspired to do that. Mike Tyson's list. AEW. Amy, Bill, how long have you been doing this? I forgot too. I'm so old about it. 51 years, not this show, but I've been in the pro wrestling reporting and journalism business for 51 years. Sportsfan 316, do I have any updates on the health of Howard Finkel? I do not. I've been trying to get in touch with him, have not heard back from him. Joker Jack NXT is the only WWE brand that could go against AEW. True. That's it. Let's see. Solomon Sultan, I have a feeling he's going to be in WWE in the backstage, becoming a Doc Hendricks, doing interviews in the back. That is possible as well. Let me jump again to people who... OK Fabe says, I think Punk should show up at the next takeover. That would be great. That would be really, really great. British Bulldog for the Hall of Fame 2020. I say the British Bulldogs for the Hall of Fame 2020. Midnight Express, absolutely. Dougie Fresh Richards, welcome back. Vince will have to take Shane's trust fund money to get Punk to wrestle in WWE again. I think CM Punk, as Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. brought up, CM Punk could be the equalizer for NXT against AEW. Everybody says it's not a war. It's a war. Come on. Andy Kaufman for sure. Buff Bagwell, love him. Great guy. Excellent wrestler, but I don't know about the WWE Hall of Fame. Steiner Brothers, yes. MD Song, welcome back. It's good to see you back on here, Tony. Apter or bust. All right, well, thank you. I'd love to be in there. Randy Helms, hello, Uncle Willie. Randy, welcome. It's great to see you here. Jushin Thunder Liger. Mac Davis brought that up. He's retiring this year. Not Mac Davis. Jushin Thunder Liger is retiring. So yeah, I think he would be a good one. Joker Jack, I'm not ignoring you. You have so many questions here. I'm trying to get to people who I haven't answered. Raiden's go to. Yeah. Demolition should go in the whole WWE Hall of Fame. I agree. I think they're not in there because there was some sort of legal issue, but the heck with that. Let's get them in there. Rick Marone. Hey, Rick. Hi, Mr. Apter. My question is, if Magnum TA didn't get into his awful car wreck, do you think he would have left NWA, WCW for the WWF? and he would have been a bigger star there. Curious, thanks as always. I think that the WWF back then, as crowded as they were, still could have used him because he was an incredible wrestler. He had incredible charisma and he looked so good. See, I think they would have made a play for him. And I don't agree with Mac Davis that he probably would have been mid-card or maybe lower. I think that Magnum TA would have been put over as a major star. That's just my feeling. Okay, Fave says, I feel like Vince would put up a fight to go into the Hall of Fame. No question he will be inducted, but I just feel he would just be too stubborn. He would fire everyone. You're all fired for inducting me. Let's go to Randy Helms. Hey, Randy. Hello again. My computer just jumped here. Where is your question? I lost your question here. I'm going to find you, Randy. Again, thank you all for being here and asking such great questions. Let's see if I can find my buddy Randy Helms again. Brian V. Hey, Bill, I'm watching you and Wrestling Inc. Well, that's great. Thank you. And again, Nick Hausman, thanks for joining us here. And Mac Davis. Glenn Smith, I think Billy Robinson is more worthy of a WWE Hall of Fame wing. I'm not sure about that. He was a great wrestler. AWA, he was fabulous, but I don't know about that. Glenn Smith, I would like Sam Muchnick in a special wing for the Hall of Fame. Yes, as a promoter, which is what he did. Brian saying, I think the CM Punk going to WWE is a swerve and he'll show up at AWE full gear. Whoa, wouldn't that be a swerve? Full Entertainment Media, hi, hello. MD Song, is the team Fuji and Saito in the Hall of Fame or Jane Jules Strongbow? No. Interesting, Tony. Sable for the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I don't know if I could see Sable in the Hall of Fame, although if her husband, Brock Lesnar, wants her in the Hall of Fame, they'll get her into the Hall of Fame. All right, so I think I've answered all your questions here. Wait a minute. MD Song says Minneapolis, Minnesota needs WrestleMania. It could be at the U.S. Bank Stadium. So if anyone's watching from WWE booking, do Tony a favor and everyone else in Minnesota there. And WrestleMania time. Randy Helms, they need to put in territories and start with Championship Wrestling from Florida. What a great idea, Randy Helms. Do territories, like one segment each year in the WWE Hall of Fame. Like this year we're doing the AWA and next year we're doing the NWA. So I think that would be and next year we're doing Memphis and next year we're doing Portland, Oregon. I think that would be great. Sportsfan 316, what are your thoughts about Cyndi Lauper or Liberace being a celebrity inductee? If you go to YouTube after we sign off here and put in Bill Apter interviews Liberace, there's an interview with me with Liberace. I think Cyndi Lauper, yes, definitely belongs in the WWE Celebrity Wing Hall of Fame. Randall Davis, Bill, what do you think are the odds of AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling partnership? Never say never. They were talking about, I think it was Awesome Kong who was talking today. I saw it, I think, on WrestleZone, where she was talking about Glow maybe getting into a business relationship with AEW, which would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Brian, any updates on Joe Pedicino? Nothing yet. MD Song, 1026 at the Zombie Pub Crawl. NWA was in town in Minneapolis. Yes, is in town in Minneapolis. Dennis Bridgewater, who killed WWE Dino Bravo? I don't know. No clue. It's an interesting question, but he was killed. I know that. I don't know why he was killed. I read a lot of hypothetical reasons why he was killed, but I no clue. That's a really way out there question. Dennis Bridgewater, how's ECW's New Jack? Talked to him a few months ago. He always calls me Wee Willie, and he goes like this, Wee Willie. He was doing okay the last time I talked to him. That's about it, fans, for this. I'm not turning my back on you. You know how I always end my shows, the Apter Chat, and spread the word. Every Wednesday night, 10:30 Eastern Time, we're here, and I'm about 2 weeks away from making a very special announcement about a way you can get this personally autographed from me, if you can't get to one of my book signings, in the mail for the holidays. Yeah. Brian Pillman, and Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker should be in the Hall of Fame. Brian Pillman for sure. Carlos Cabrera is so important for Spanish viewers, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. Bill, do you know what Christopher Daniels' injury is legit or not? I don't. I'm told that it is. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to say anything if I don't know. Amy, you said you want one bill. If I could stuff this into the, here you go, Amy. There is one bill. I couldn't resist that. I will have an announcement about how you'll be able to get this in the mail from me, personally signed, along with an Apter Chat special DVD and a classic magazine of my choosing from my collection. It could be PWI, Inside Wrestling, The Wrestler, WOW Magazine, Total Wrestling, Tudo Wrestling. It's whatever I have available at that time. It's like a grab bag. But in the next week or two, I'll be making an announcement on my Facebook page and on my Twitter. And by the way, thank you. 25,100 of you people are following me on Twitter. I'm totally knocked out and flattered by your attention to what I've been doing all these years, and following all our videos on onewrestlingvideo.com. You know, you never know what video is going to really hit big on a YouTube channel. There are some wrestlers I've gone like, this thing's going to get like a million views, and it gets 350 views. And then take someone like Road Dogg, who I did a 4 or 5 minute interview at one of the conventions a few months ago. It's got 500,000 views already, practically. So you never, ever know. All right, I'm getting ready to call it a night, but there's a few more questions. And because you came into Apter's Alley here, I don't want to leave without answering them. Joker Jack, Kevin Sullivan, very deserving of Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's been around forever. He really has. Oh, Glenn Smith, what about apartment wrestling? No. If you read my book, Glenn Smith, you will see, and again, my book is Wrestling Fixed. Let's all hear it. I didn't know it was broken. There's an entire chapter on how apartment wrestling almost ruined my career. No, apartment wrestling in the Hall of Fame, even though Vince might like that, no. Brian V. Bill, I forgot to tell you something. What is it? Where Enzyme 2000? Where can you get my book? Well, before the special announcement in 2 weeks about getting an autographed copy, you can get the book at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, any good or even bad bookstore. So, and there's also the audio version where I read the entire book, and I do a lot of imitations in it when I talk about different wrestlers like Bruno and Dusty Rhodes and stuff like that. So yeah, please get a hold of it, or the audio book, or wait a couple of weeks and and I'll give you the way to get it directly from me in the mail, personalized to you. Brian V., I got an interview with Clementine Cassidy yesterday on the WSE Lounge that dresses up like Orange Cassidy every week on AEW. That must have been great. Dennis Bridgewater, ECW punk ass Paul Heyman. Huh? Jan Bull 17,000 and lost it one night in Atlantic. I don't know what you're talking about. Glenn Smith, I love listening to your audiobook on iTunes. Thank you so very much. Tony, MD Song, regarding New Japan of America, I noticed that Minneapolis is on the tour. I just hope Okada and the others are included. Yeah, that's great that New Japan is coming out with a United States version. So there's going to be more competition. And Access TV is becoming like the wrestling channel with Women of Wrestling and Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling. They've got so much going on there. Jim Cornette for Hog. For Hall of Fame. Dennis Bridgewater. That's why ECW ain't around, because of ECW Paul Heyman. We're not discussing that tonight. We'll come up with a topic in a minute for next week. Sportsfan 316, thank you for making your book on audio tape for a guy with dyslexia like myself. It makes reading a lot more fun. Thank you for saying that. It's in my book, but I'll tell you the story real quickly. ECW Press, when I signed the deal for the book like 12 years ago, told me that there might be an audio book coming. So that's fine. So I got a call from an executive who said, we're going to do the audio book. They're going to call you and introduce you to the announcer who's going to do your book. I said, what? They said, well, we need the presence of a, hold on a minute. Again, it's just bad allergies. I'm not dying or anything. So I said, you need a professional announcer. I said, well, I've been broadcasting for, 51 years or so. I've been on TV a lot, etc. So, well, they're going to call you from California. So I get a call from a guy in California. Hi, Mr. Apter. I'm going to be doing your voice. I said, oh, well, so I said, can I call you back? And I called the book company and I said, we can't do this, because I said, my friends, my fans know my voice. And I was afraid that the guy who's going to read the book, if he's not a wrestling fan, is going to say words like K-fob, and it had to be done by me. So finally I pressured them. I went to Forge Recording Studios in Orland, Pennsylvania, right in my neighborhood. And in 4 days, at 4 hours per night, we did the book. And there's a video online of the making of my audiobook. So thank you. And if you got the book and you want to get the audiobook, go to audible.com and you can get that over there. Okay, Fabe, always great to see you do these live streams. Bill, I have a question for you. Okay, Fabe. If you could name a championship for AEW, name a new championship for AEW, what would you call it? Well, it wouldn't be the AEW Intercontinental. It could be the AEW Championship Office Wrestling belt, so I could defend it there. But no, that's a great question. I would call it the AEW, not Universal, because that's being used already. I would call it the AEW. You know what? Next week, I'm going to come up with one next week, and if you fans can come up with what AEW should call a new belt there, let's do it. Of course, there should be a United States Heavyweight Championship. There could be an AEW North American title. There could be an AEW UK title. But to have one title, let me think on that. AEW TV title, that's a great idea too. Yeah, you know what? I really like this. I really like that idea. I really like the AEW TV title. So we're stuck on that one. That's what we're going to use. Full Entertainment Media. And I really got to get out of here. Did you see the stuff about Impact Wrestling buying Ring of Honor Wrestling? It was all over the net. And then it just died. I did see a lot about that. We do know that the company that owns Impact Wrestling is now the owner of Access TV. So perhaps Ring of Honor will wind up on Access TV. But no, I haven't heard anything further about that. I don't think they're looking to sell. I really don't. All right, so I've got to get going. Dennis Bridgewater says the best there is, maybe it'll make you get the audio book. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Oh, come on, Sergeant Legacy 7. Bill, just wanted to thank you for introducing me as a kid to other promotions through PWI. First PWI magazine I published was a bloody Ric Flair on the cover. Bill, a living legend, thank you. And again, I say this all the time. I worked with a great group of people that put out that magazine. I was the face behind the magazines. So to any of you who were on the staff back at PWI, that's for all of us. Joker Jack, you're welcome. This is the best hour of wrestling every week. Thank you so very much. Please pass the word on. 10:30 every Wednesday Eastern time. Yeah. Okay, on the count of three, Solomon Sultan suggests we all say, see you at the matches. And we all have to point to our computers as well, or your cell phones. Or, I still got the cowbell here. Wonderful Willie, taking over for Bill Apter, if you will. So as Bill Apter always says, we'll see you. Let's all do it. 1, 2, 3. We'll see you at the matches. And that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'll miss you all till next week. And is wrestling fixed? I didn't know it was broken. Love you all too. Thank you.